The serve is a hot topic these days, and for good reason.
More and more players are starting to see the shot as a weapon and not just a way to start the point. Today we're going to take a look at why you should learn to serve with more depth and show some different ways to make your serve more effective.
A deep, powerful serve can indeed give you some free points. We've all made return errors, but not often against weak serves.
No, it's the deep, penetrating serves that catch players by surprise, often while moving forward in a rush to get to the kitchen line. If it doesn't force an error, then the next best scenario is the reward of a short return, something that can easily set up you or your partner for a third shot drive or an easier drop. Often the serve doesn't need to be overly powerful, just land deep in the court to force a returner to suffer one of a variety of technical issues, including having to contact the ball while moving sideways, overreaching for the ball, or contacting the ball with their weight moving backwards. Serving deep into the forehand corner of the court firstly forces your opponent to move further than normal, which in turn costs them valuable time that could have been used to get up to the kitchen. Secondly, it effectively opens up the court for a possible third shot drive through the middle. This threat will force the returner's partner to attempt to cover the middle, which in turn opens up their sideline. Watch carefully for this, as it may very well give you an even greater advantage, a deadly drop to the one backhand on the court. This drop can allow you or your partner to poach the next ball, or at least assert real pressure up at the kitchen line without the need for a tricky transitional drop. Serving deep down the middle of the court, close to the center line on the forehand side, has a number of benefits. Against a right-handed player, this serve can easily find your opponent's backhand, something most players would prefer not to have to use against a good serve. The returner will also be drawn into the center of the court, which has the opposite effect as with the wide serve. Now, both the returner and their partner are closer to the center, leaving the wings exposed. Look to expose this area against the oncoming returner. They're likely still in the transition area, and as such, a relatively slow drive to their feet will be tough to handle. If you manage this sequence of shots, then not only can you win the point quickly, you will have effectively avoided both the risk of overhitting a third shot drop and the risk of driving a third ball either long or in the net.
This legendary play is a game changer. Its effectiveness comes from the difficulty most players have controlling their volleys off a good drive.
Those good drive opportunities don't just grow on trees, you know. You might have to earn them, and there's no better way than with a deep, powerful serve that weakens the returner's position and balance. Communication is key here. Alert your partner as soon as possible that you're going to drive towards the oncoming player. This will give them ample opportunity to disconnect and move forward with a look to intercept any popped-up ball for an easy put-away. Luckily, to practice your serve depth just involves a bunch of balls and some targets. If you can, create some zones near the corners of the service box, but be sure they start a foot or so inside the area. There's no sense in trying to paint the lines. Test yourself with 10 balls and see how many you can get inside the zone. Then try and better your score. Progress to alternating between the two zones until you're able to achieve the same score as before.
The key thing here is to understand your comfortable ball speed and knowing that depth doesn't mean power. Power does help, but unfortunately, it's also the enemy of accuracy.
Alternatively, giving the serve plenty of height above the net is by far the most reliable way to get great depth. If you're looking to become a more offensive player, it starts with the serve. The serve is the only shot in the game that you have full control over, and you don't need anyone else to practice it with.
We've seen today why it's effective and how to use it to set up your next shot. So please, grab a basket of balls and get to work building your next best shot.